Often for a project, students will want to record a sound or take a photo and have that stored for later. This is just a little demonstration of how to go about that. I'm going to start by putting some buttons on here. The demonstration app I'm going to do here is going to record sound and store that for later playback. So the buttons I'm going to have are Start Recording. I'm going to have Stop Recording. And I'm going to have Play Recording, play it back later. And because I'm going to, in the blocks window, it's going to be a bit of a pain with them named button 1, button 2, button 3, trying to remember which is which, so I'm just going to button Start Recording, and I'm going to have BTN Stop Recording, and this one BTN Playback. Now the other things that I'm going to need are a sound recorder. I'm just going to leave that as sound recorder 1, I've only got one of those, and a player to play back the sound later, and I think that's all I need for now. So hopping into the blocks window, I will need to look at what happens when I start recording. When I hit the button Start Recording.click, I'm going to go to the sound recorder and call sound recorder.start. Cool. When I hit the button Stop Recording, oops, not got focus, so Stop Recording.click, sound recorder stop. Now that's recorded the sound, but it hasn't put it anywhere that we can actually use it. So the sound recorder also has when sound recorder after sound recorded, and then I can do something with that, because this has got the sounds, get sound, set sound to, etc. Which reminded me that I actually do need one more thing, because I need somewhere to store that sound recording, and I don't have a place to store it right now, but we do have some storage options. In this case, I'm going to record it in a store it in a TinyDB, a tiny database, TinyDB1. So I'm going to say when sound recorder 1 after sound recorded, I'm going to go to my database and I'm going to store value, and the value I'm going to store will be the get sound, the sound that's just been recorded. I need to put a tag on there, just a bit of text, and I'm going to call that recorded sound. Now the last thing I need to do that will actually make this work, so I go to button playback, so button playback dot click. I am going to set the sound, hang about, that's not the sound recorder, sorry, the player. I'm going to set the source, the player source, to be that value from the database. So from TinyDB, I'm going to get value, and the value I'm going to get is going to have this tag, the recorded sound tag. So this one stores the sound in the database as recorded sound, this one gets recorded sound value and puts that as a player 1 source, and then the last thing I need to do is just play the sound. Okay. Now what's going to happen here, this does work, I can't show you the emulator, my emulator doesn't work on my computer. What's going to happen here is every time I record a new sound, it's going to record over the top of this recorded sound. I'm just going to show you one way that we could get around that. I'm going to put a text box onto here, text box 1, and instead of tagging it with recorded sound, don't want that anymore, I'm going to say take the text box text, which is here, text box text. So whatever I've typed into this text box here in the app will be what it's stored as, and then down here, just duplicate that, put that instead of this, put this in the bin. Say I record sound 1 is the text I typed into, I can play back sound 1, that's stored in the database, and then I could have multiple other sounds, sound 2, sound 3, sound 4, and whatever's typed in the text box when I hit play, that'll be the one that plays back. So it's storing multiple different values in that database. So relatively complex, and I'm certainly not saying this is the way that you should make your app look, but I am showing you the principle of how you can store sounds, and images works pretty much exactly the same way in your database for later use.